Most business owners and real estate agents are using ChatGPT and AI like a toy. Let's fix that today. Hey, everybody, Mike Ferrante here with LPT Realty and the Mike team located in Northeast Ohio, based out of Solon. We cover all of Northeast Ohio, all the way down to Central Ohio. So if you have a real estate need anywhere in the world, pretty much, we have a vast network of people that can help. And of course, you can go to 21mike.com, click that button at the top to schedule an appointment with me or someone on the team. And as we do every Tuesday, we put out some agent training. And this is great for business owners, like I said, agents who are essentially business owners. You guys are subcontractors. And every week we do this training to try to help you grow your business, help you be more efficient. Okay, what I see are cutesy things on Facebook and other social media platforms. Hey, this is me if I were a Barbie or Ken doll. This is me if I were a cartoon. Hey, those are fun and that's good stuff. Like my teammate Mike Pillow down in Howard, Ohio, Central Ohio, Mount Vernon area, we were talking about, he actually did an exercise where he said, hey, analyze my presence online and tell me what you think. And it basically said, hey, you're an entertainer. You're an entertainer. And what we really want to be is the area expert. We want to be the people that buyers, sellers, renters, that other agents look up to as the expert. And so what we put out into the world is what we get back. So if you're making funny memes and images, that's what you are. You're an entertainer. So if you're ready to get serious about your business and about how you use AI in your business, you're in smack dab in the middle of a three-part series. If you missed last week, that was the basics. Hey, here's how you log in. Here's how you create an account. Here's how you use the basics of ChatGPT. We talked about customization. Okay, most agents and most business owners are using just a generic vanilla ChatGPT account. They're not taking the time to teach ChatGPT who they are and what their business is about and what tone they want it to take, what role they want it to take. So we talked last week about the RISE acronym, what role you want it to take, what instructions, the structure of the answer, and then of course fourth, the output. The E is for the example, like example of what you want it to create. Um, and that is such an important part, the customization and using it the right way. It's like grabbing a hammer at the top or in the middle. To get the most leverage on it, you hold a hammer at the end and you swing it and you get more leverage on it. So I'm actually going to show you something today. I was using Miami, Florida as the example, and I pulled the very first example of a listing I pulled up. I'm gonna pull it up today and show it and read it, and you're going to tell me, is it AI or not? And we'll talk about why that is. So let me just pull my screen up real quick. And if you're just listening on the podcast, Free Beer and Real Estate, don't worry, I'll be explaining everything here. But essentially, what we want to do here is use ChatGPT a little bit more deeply. And again, there's tons of AI tools out there. So I like ChatGPT. I think there's a lot of coaches and trainers out there saying, well, each tool does something a little different. It's better at this, it's better at that. That's fine. Okay. I think that's for the higher level users. ChatGPT can pretty much do everything. It's sort of the jack of all trades. Look, if you want to start becoming an expert, then sure, use Claude for coding and all the different tools that have their little unique areas of expertise. But for now, pick one and start using it. Now, what I wanted to show you today is over here, we have what's called custom GPTs. And you don't have to create your own particular instruction set for something you want done. And the example I'm going to show today is listing descriptions. Okay. Listen, this is a very basic part of what ChatGPT can do. And I think many agents are using it to create listing descriptions. But here's the problem. And let me pull up, I just went down to Miami just because, and I pulled up this very first listing I pulled. And I read the description, and you tell me, AI or not. This is a 500 some thousand dollar house. Here's the description. Welcome to this charming four-bedroom, two-bathroom home situated on a spacious corner lot in a centrally located neighborhood. This well-maintained property offers ample outdoor space and privacy, complete with a fully fenced yard, providing security, both security and peace of mind. Inside, you'll find an upgraded kitchen featuring new appliances, modern finishes, and plenty of cabinet space, perfect for everyday living and entertaining. The functional floor plan offers comfortable bedrooms, well-appointed bathrooms, and abundant natural light throughout. With its generous lot size, secure fencing, and prime central location close to shopping, dining, schools, and major roadways, this home presents an excellent opportunity for homeowners and investors alike. Don't miss your chance to own this move-in ready property with space, upgrades, and locations all in one. What can you tell me about that property description? Nothing wrong with it. But doesn't it sound like every other property description that you're reading online right now? And that's because this person, I think it's AI. I think it's AI, and they're probably using ChatGPT in a very uncustomized way. Sure, it's not bad. It's better than nothing, but it's not being customized. It's not special. Is this listing going to pop up when someone says, "Oh, I'm looking for the St. James neighborhood," or if they're asking for very specific things in a search, which people are using ChatGPT now for searches. ChatGPT, find me a four-bedroom home that's in this neighborhood that's close to this park or this school. This is all very generic and vanilla. So I'm going to show you something here. I pulled up a house that we sold, and I'm just going to copy all the information here. And I'm going to plug this into ChatGPT and just ask it to write a description. So I'm literally just on the county website. I'm going to say, write a property description for this home. Okay, and while it's working, we're going to talk for a second. The difference between what we're doing right now and what I'm about to show you with a custom GPT that actually is programmed, trained to be a little more specific, it's night and day. You're going to read the description and say, wow, that actually sounds like how people talk. Okay. The complaint I have is that people don't talk that way on the first description that I read. Now, I'm using my ChatGPT, which I've already trained pretty well. So this one might not be terrible, but like the paragraph here, uh, enjoy everyday convenience. Like people don't really talk like that, right? Now, of course, this has backfired on me to some extent because I've trained my GPT pretty well. My ChatGPT knows how I want it to write. I'm looking for the long dashes. When you guys see these long dashes, this is kind of a dead giveaway, probably written by AI. But notice this is all very generic, very generic. It doesn't get into the specifics of an eat-in kitchen, for example. Also, it doesn't know that this was a finished basement. So instead of this, instead of just uploading pictures and saying, here's some, that's better, uploading pictures and saying, here's my new listing, write a description for it, using a custom GPT like this one here. This is by a great creator. Really like this guy, Rajiv Saja. He actually has a button here that says, hey, tell me what this GPT does. And it's going to tell you. If the GPTs that you're finding when you search for them, explore GPTs over here in the left column, you can search, say, you know what, I need to write my profiles in a way that scores me higher in SEO and GEO. I have one saved for that, Agent Bio Visibility Optimizer. You can search and find custom GPTs already written for you. But here, his GPT does all of it. And as my teammate Ian up here in Rocky River likes to point out, it's great to give it guardrails. Okay, we don't want to have ChatGPT writing descriptions for us that violate fair housing. So Rajiv's GPT here gives us guardrails. So whether you're using someone else's or writing your own, think about the guardrails. And guess what? You can use ChatGPT to write your custom GPTs. You can say, hey, I want to write instructions for you every time I have a new listing. Help me create those instructions. And even if you don't use custom GPTs, you can use the same instructions every time. You can save in your chats. Hey, I want to go back to that listing description creator. You can save it and go back to it every time, or you can create your own custom GPT. So I'm just going to say here, let's get started. And I've used Rajiv's, and I know it starts asking you questions. It prompts you through the process. Let's say that I want to rewrite. It's asking me, is this starting with a new or a rewrite? So what it does, it says, okay, great. I don't care how bad it is. Go ahead and paste it. And so I'm going to take this was our listing from last year, and I wrote this myself. I don't think it was terrible, but let's go ahead and paste it and see what it comes up with. While it's working, I'm going to go ahead and skim over what I wrote. I led with the 5 bedrooms in Solon. Okay, need 5 bedrooms in Solon, over 3,000 square feet of living area, including the finished basement. This home has 5 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, plus 3 separate living areas, formal living room, family room with fireplace, and basement rec room with wet bar and lots of storage. Traditional colonial, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. I wrote this, trying to pack it with keywords and hooks. Let's see if chat does a little better. So what his custom GPT does is it says, here's what I think. Correct anything that's wrong. It's saying, hey, worry about these guardrails by they're not illegal, but hey, could me mentioning need 5 bedrooms in Solon be a fair housing issue? Now, of course, I know that saying, anything about Solon schools that is not very neutral. Like if I'm saying how great they are, that could be a problem. It's mentioning that. Uh, it asks a bunch of questions. What about the furnace? What about the electric panel? Here's the things that you're missing. Tell me what it's close to. And then I'm going to tell it what it needs and it's going to rewrite. So I'm just going to say, this is all correct. Please write. Now, again, the more detail you put in, but see, this is challenging you. This custom GPT is challenging you to add more to your descriptions. When I had Zillow pulled up a little while ago and read that very vanilla generic description, it didn't have a lot of keywords. So you can see what it's writing here. Again, it's packed with keywords. It knows that those first 150 to 300 characters are so important. It cleaned up some of my language that it thought could be a fair housing issue. And again, my chat GPT is already trained based on what we did last week. Go back to YouTube and rewatch that. Mike Ferrante, Cleveland Realtor. All right. So this is just one thing that it does, guys. And I know many agents are already using ChatGPT to write their descriptions. Okay. If you use it better, your descriptions won't sound like everyone else's. Tell it not to use the long dashes. Tell it not to use the words, like this one here started off with the word welcome to. And what was the other word that it used that just screamed AI? Uh, Ample outdoor space, the convenience of what did it say? Generous lot size. So listen, read your description and ask yourself, is this how people talk? All right, that's part one. Real quick today, I wanted to show you another intermediate level sort of use for ChatGPT. And I'm going to copy and paste this. And while it's working, I'll read it back to you. Let's change into a new chat. And I'm going to have ChatGPT act as my real estate coach. Again, I call this an intermediate level type task. Next week, we're going to get into advanced stuff that you probably didn't even realize chat could do for you. And I'm basically saying, give it the role, take on the role of real estate coach who helps agents become top producers. Ask me 10 questions one at a time to understand me and my current business and skills. Let's have a conversation. Don't just agree with me. Push back and challenge anything I tell you as you see fit. I want to increase and refocus my business. And there's more, but let's go ahead and see what it said. It's telling me, I think, based on what I already know about you, that you want to win more listings. And so it starts asking me questions. Tell me about your recent business and your pending pipeline. Give exact numbers. So I'm going to answer these questions one at a time. And at the end of it, I can ask it, I could say, hey, ask me 10 more questions. But the point is, this is a really cool exercise that you can do to use ChatGPT at a slightly higher level. These sessions go so quickly. I teach a 1 hour CE on the topic, and I promised in the CE that I would do a little deeper dive on some of the things that ChatGPT can do. So please try this exercise. If you want that prompt, hit me up. You can email me, mike@21mike.com, send me a private message. Follow us on Facebook. It's 21 Mike Team on Facebook. And of course, on YouTube, feel free to drop a comment. Tell me what you think, how you're using ChatGPT. Again, I consider this intermediate level. Next week, what I'm going to show you is how ChatGPT can actually act as your writer, act as your graphic designer, act in a way that you couldn't even imagine possible. Like hiring people to do stuff for you, ChatGPT can do it. Teaser, I had it write my 10-year market study. I gave it data just in a lump form. I said, here's a bunch of graphs. Here's some pictures. Here's some QR codes. Make me a report. And what it spit out was pretty incredible. I had spent 4 hours making that report. I'm being generous. It was really like 4.5 hours. In about 15 minutes, ChatGPT made one that was better than what I wrote, and then I tweaked it. I had it give it to me in an editable format, and I tweaked it. I'll show that to you next week. I also showed that a couple weeks ago when I presented my 10-year market study, but I'm going to show you how I had ChatGPT create an in-depth market study that usually takes me 4 to 5 hours to create. All right, guys, if you have questions or you have a topic you want us to hit on Tuesday training, email me, mike@21mike.com, drop me a message. We're going to do one more week of chat. Next week is the advanced, and then we will get into some other scripts and dialogues because I know you guys love that. So I'm going to pause the recording here and take questions. But guys, please come back, subscribe on YouTube, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.